Erik Ten Hag insists that he isn't fearing the sack at Manchester United, despite the mounting pressure following their poor start to the season. After Sunday's heavy defeat by Tottenham, which has left United 13th in the Premier League, Ten Hag faces a crucial 4 days with his side facing Porto in the Europa League before Villa on Super Sunday.
You yourself say that it must get better, it has to get better. That wasn't a great performance against Tottenham. So do you make mistakes as well? Do you take responsibility too?
We are there in together, and when the players have a bad performance, I'm in the same boat. Then I haven't done my job great because they didn't play as I expected them to do. So yeah, we are there in together, and we have to fight together to get out of this.
What have the club's ownership and leadership group been saying to you? I know you talk to them regularly. I know they've given you your support as well. But what have they said to you in the last 24 hours?
We're talking continually, but we are talking about how we can improve the process.
Do you truly believe you are all aligned? All together, every single one of you?
Yes, and we have seen this in this group. There's a good spirit, and even after all the setbacks, they kept going. If you see that spirit in this team, then you see this is a team. They want to fight for each other. And also you can see the fans, they are disappointed, but they kept with us. And they kept supporting us from the first moment till the last moment. We are in here, also there together. But in the meantime, you have to win. And I think we have proven the last 2 years we win. And I've proven in my career always I will win. The last 6 years I have 8 trophies. So we have to embed the game model. We have to embed a stronger team as we have now. So we have to work on our problems, give the solutions, and I'm sure we will achieve the targets we have set for this season.
Finally, if it doesn't go well this week, these next two games, where will you be? Do you feel you will still be here?
I'm not thinking about it. I'm not anxious as well. We are in here together. We made in the summer togetherness, the ownership, the leadership, this agreement, and we are all behind it. But also they know in the end, when we are in May, in all my last 6 seasons, always there were trophies, and that is what we are also now aiming for.
Go well this week.
Thank you.
So, Kaveh Solokol, our chief reporter, joins us now. So, he's telling us about the trophies he's won. He doesn't fear the sack. Does that interview give you any sort of indication whether he's the sort of person who's thinking, I've got a week, 2 games to save my job?
I don't think so. I think he came across as pretty relaxed. He didn't come across to me as somebody who is fighting to save his job. I know I may be biased, but I think that is probably the best interview I've seen with Erik Ten Hag since he became Manchester United manager. It's not easy to interview Erik Ten Hag. He doesn't normally give very much away. He's not a fantastic communicator. And it's also very difficult to interview managers after such a disappointing defeat. But I felt that he opened up in that interview and he said some very interesting things. He said, we have problems, of course, but I am going to find the solutions. He said that he felt that the players and also his own bosses were still behind him. And he talked about the fact that he still feels that United are a side in transition. He made this point a couple of times, that they have decided to go in a different direction by having young players. And if you have young players, it's going to take time for them to develop into a cohesive unit. So it sounded like he was asking for more time. One thing that really stood out for me is not once, but twice, he made the point that in the past 6 years, he has won 8 trophies. So to me, that was Erik Ten Hag just reminding everybody outside Manchester United and also people inside Manchester United.
He's reminding his bosses
that I am a winner. Stick with me. Past 6 years, I've won 8 trophies. If you stick with me, we will win more trophies. And Juliet asked him directly, what is your target for this season? And he said to win trophies and to finish as high as possible in the Premier League.
All right, let's talk about that. They were 8th last season, not acceptable if you are a Man United fan. They're currently 13th. They're behind Bournemouth, Forest and Brentford. How much longer can this go on?
I think if you're asking me, does Erik Ten Hag have 2 games to save his job? Does everything depend on these next 2 games against Porto and Aston Villa? I don't think it's as clear-cut as that. I don't think we should be talking about a manager who's only got 2 games to save his job. I think what's much more important is the performances. Because if Manchester United carry on turning out the kind of performances that they did against Spurs, then obviously, you know, you don't have to be a mastermind to work out that Erik Ten Hag is not going to keep his job. But I still think, even if they lose against Porto and Aston Villa, if the performances are improved, if the performances are good, if you can see that the players are playing for Erik Ten Hag, then his job is totally safe. I think indirectly in that interview, he was asked whether he felt that his job was on the line. And to me, he didn't sound like somebody who was too worried. He said, we are going to be successful.
We will see. Carve Solokol, our chief reporter. Well, they're off to Porto. In fact, they are in Porto now. Beautiful second city of Portugal. Now, Ten Hag oversaw Manchester United training today before they flew. Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford there, the start of the session. Fernandes will lead the side tomorrow, and he's also available to take on Villa on Sunday after having that red card against Tottenham overturned. Well, Kobbie Mainoo trained, which is good news for United because, of course, he went off injured against Spurs last weekend. And more good news, Harry Maguire is available. He missed Sunday's defeat through injury. So we will see how United get on in Europe. Yeah, that's tomorrow night. And then it's Aston Villa on Super Sunday, which is live. Our coverage starts at 1 o'clock, Sky Sports Premier League. You fear that the pressure is really on, even if the United manager is saying he doesn't feel it.